when football becomes war. Let's kick off with the atomic bomb of football rivalries, El Clásico. This isn't just Spain's biggest rivalry. This is the rivalry that makes every other rivalry look like a friendly handshake. We're talking about the most watched club match on the planet, and there's a reason for that madness. Barcelona versus Real Madrid isn't football. It's a clash of civilizations wrapped in a 90-minute package. Here's the breakdown. Real Madrid equals Spanish royalty, central power, and everything establishment. They're the golden boys of the capital, dripping in tradition and historically favored during Franco's regime. Barcelona, they're the rebels, the Catalan crusaders fighting for independence, culture, and basically everything Madrid isn't. Every time these titans clash, it's not 3 points at stake. It's an entire identity crisis for two regions that can't stand each other. The Franco years? Absolute nightmare fuel. The dictator openly favored Real Madrid while Barcelona got the silent treatment. That infamous 1943 match where Barcelona lost 11-1? Yeah, that wasn't football. That was intimidation, with a side of alleged death threats to players. Dark times that still echo today. But then came the modern era, and El Clásico became the ultimate superhero showdown. Messi versus Ronaldo, Pep versus Mourinho, pure theater that made Hollywood jealous. Between 2009 and 2012, these teams played each other 18 times in 3 years. They literally couldn't escape each other. League games, cup finals, Champions League knockouts. It was like a boxing match that never ended. The drama was off the charts. Mourinho's mind games, Sergio Ramos collecting red cards like Pokemon cards, and Messi just casually destroying everything in sight. Even without Messi and Ronaldo, this rivalry refuses to die. Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, Pedri, Gavi, the new generation is keeping the fire burning bright. And as long as Catalonia wants independence and Madrid says nah, El Clásico will always be more than football. Manchester United vs Liverpool, English football's nuclear option. If El Clásico is global warfare, then Manchester United vs Liverpool is England's version of mutually assured destruction. This rivalry doesn't need shared stadiums or city borders. It runs deeper than that. This is about history, dominance, and a century-long argument over who owns English football. It all started with good old-fashioned industrial jealousy. Manchester made stuff, Liverpool shipped it. Then Manchester said, "Actually, we'll build our own port, thanks," and opened the Manchester Ship Canal in 1894. Liverpool took that personally. Very personally. That economic beef found its way onto the football pitch, and boy, did it stick. For decades, Liverpool was the king of the castle. The 70s and 80s belonged to them completely. Bill Shankly, Bob Paisley, Kenny Dalglish, they turned Anfield into a trophy factory. 11 league titles, 4 European Cups between 1970-1990, and United could only watch from the sidelines like bitter relatives at a wedding. Then Sir Alex Ferguson walked in with a mission statement that could have been a death threat, knock Liverpool off their perch. And he did exactly that. From 1993 to 2013, United became the English football empire. 13 Premier League titles, global domination, and they actually overtook Liverpool's total league count. Ferguson didn't just win, he conquered. But Liverpool wasn't done. Jurgen Klopp arrived with his heavy metal football, grabbed a Champions League in 2019, and ended their 30-year league title drought in 2020. The rivalry was back, baby. What makes this special is the philosophical war. United fans are everywhere. Global, commercial, successful. Liverpool fans are tribal, local, traditional. This means more. Isn't just marketing, it's a religion. When these teams meet, there's no friendship, no respect, just pure, undiluted football hatred. Even when one team is struggling, their fans pray for the other to lose. Boca Juniors vs River Plate. Welcome to Buenos Aires, where football rivalries don't just break hearts, they break entire cities. Boca Juniors vs River Plate isn't just Argentina's biggest derby. It's an emotional nuclear weapon that detonates every time these teams share the same pitch. Here's the class warfare in football form. Boca comes from La Boca, the gritty immigrant neighborhood where football is religion and survival is art. River Plate moved to Núñez, built the biggest stadium in the country, and earned the nickname Los Millonarios, the millionaires. Working class versus elite, passion versus polish, fire versus ice. River has 38 league titles. Boca has more international glory, 7 Copa Libertadores and counting. But when El Superclásico hits, stats become irrelevant because the entire country literally stops functioning. The atmosphere is beyond insane. Flares, confetti, 90 minutes of non-stop singing, and noise levels that probably violate several international treaties. It got so intense they banned away fans from league matches in 2013 after decades of violence, just to prevent actual riots. But the 2018 Copa Libertadores final? That was peak football drama. First time in history, these two met in South America's biggest club final. First leg, 2-2 at Boca's Bombonera. Before the second leg at River Stadium, River fans attacked Boca's team bus with rocks and pepper spray. The match got postponed, then moved to Madrid, the Santiago Bernabeu. River won 3-1 in extra time, and Boca fans are still traumatized. River fans? They'll never let them forget it. This isn't just football. It's family warfare, neighborhood pride, and pure emotional chaos all rolled into 90 minutes of beautiful madness. Galatasaray versus Fenerbahçe, from Buenos Aires to Istanbul, where another rivalry burns just as hot but with Turkish flair. Galatasaray versus Fenurbache is literally Europe versus Asia. Same city, different continents, separated by the Bosphorus, but united in their hatred for each other. Founded in 1905, Galatasaray, and 1907, Fenerbahçe. These clubs have been at each other's throats since Turkish football began. Galatasaray traditionally linked to the elite and academia. Fenerbahçe more populist with deeper working class. The atmosphere? Absolutely mental. When Galatasaray fans pack Nef Stadium, or Fenerbahçe floods the Shukru Saracoğlu, it's not a game. It's sensory warfare. Firecrackers, smoke bombs, flags, and noise so loud, players need earplugs. The most legendary moment, 1996 Turkish Cup Final. Graeme Souness, foreign manager caught in the crossfire, plants a giant Galatasaray flag right in the center of Fenerbahçe's pitch after winning. Absolute scenes. Galatasaray fans still worship him. Fenerbahçe fans still want his head. Neither side stays quiet for long. Galatasaray won the UEFA Cup in 2000, only Turkish club to lift a major European trophy. Fenerbahçe reached the Champions League quarterfinals in 2007-08 season. The balance keeps shifting, which keeps the fire burning. Player transfers between these clubs, nearly non-existent in modern times. The fans don't just dislike each other, they live to watch the other side suffer. That's Turkish football in a nutshell. Celtic versus Rangers, the Old Firm's religious war. Glasgow's Old Firm derby isn't just football. It's 140 plus years of religious, political, and cultural warfare condensed into 90 minutes of pure chaos. Celtic, founded by Irish Catholic immigrants in 1888, green jerseys, Irish heritage, left-wing politics, and a supporter base that treats football like mass. Rangers, founded in 1872, Protestant, British Unionist, conservative, and proud of it. Blue jerseys, Union Jack flags, and zero tolerance for Celtic's Irish sympathy. This divide isn't just symbolic, it literally shapes Glasgow. Families split down the middle, neighborhoods color-coded, jobs influenced by which team you support. On the pitch, both clubs have dominated Scottish football for over a century. Celtic's 1967 European Cup win with the Lisbon Lions, all local players. Rangers' 1972 Cup Winners' Cup triumph. But Old Firm matches are something else. Ferocious tackles, red cards flying, an atmosphere that could power a small city. Losing isn't just defeat, it's community humiliation. The historical baggage is intense. Rangers had an unwritten no Catholics policy until 1989. Graeme Souness signed Mo Johnston. Celtic embraced their Irish roots with rebel songs and Irish flags. Rangers responded with loyalist chants and British anthems. Violence has been a constant shadow. Riots, arrests, deaths. Authorities now enforce heavy policing and 12:30 p.m. kickoffs just to contain the madness. But this rivalry is Scottish football's heartbeat. Massive viewership, huge revenue, international attention. Every derby matters, whether it's a title decider or mid-season clash. AC Milan vs Inter Milan. Milan, city of fashion, art, and elegance, also home to one of football's most unique rivalries. Two clubs sharing the same stadium but hating each other's guts. The Derby della Madonnina between AC Milan and Inter Milan started with a family feud. AC Milan founded in 1899, originally as a cricket and football club, but in 1908, a group split away over disagreements about signing foreign players and formed Inter. From day one, identity warfare. AC Milan, originally more working class, Inter positioned as the cosmopolitan alternative. Over time, social distinctions faded, but the football hatred only grew stronger. European success? AC Milan's 7 Champions League titles versus Inter's 3, including their 2023 final appearance, including that legendary 2010 treble under Mourinho. Neither club holds permanent dominance, which keeps this rivalry razor sharp. Sharing the San Siro makes every derby feel like a stadium takeover. One half red and black, the other blue and black. The banners, the choreography, everything changes depending on who's home. The chaos peaked in 2005 Champions League quarterfinal second leg when Inter fans threw flares at Milan goalkeeper Della. Match abandoned in the 73rd minute with Milan leading 1-0, awarded as 3-0 forfeit. European football at its most emotionally charged. Recent years brought revival. Inter's 22-20-21 Scudetto under Conte. Milan's 20-21-22 response under Pioli. Their 2023 Champions League semi-final clash. The first European derby della Madonnina in 18 years. This isn't just historical rivalry. It's alive, relevant, and driving both clubs to greatness. Borussia Dortmund vs. Bayern. This isn't about geography, it's David versus Goliath, except Goliath keeps stealing David's best weapons. Dortmund represents industrial Germany's heart, working-class passion, youth development, and that iconic yellow wall creating the best atmosphere in world football. Bayern Munich, German football's corporate overlords. Success, money, control, and a business model built on making sure nobody else gets close. The 2010s made this personal. Jurgen Klopp's Dortmund built something beautiful. High-pressing, exciting football that won back-to-back Bundesliga titles in 2010, 11, and 2011-12, plus that 2013 Champions League final, lost 2-1 to Bayern. Then Bayern did what Bayern does. They went shopping. Mario Götze activated 37-meter release clause in April 2013. Robert Lewandowski, free transfer in 2014 after his contract expired. Mats Hummels returned to Bayern in 2016 after coming through their academy. It's happened so often that Dortmund fans joke, when Bayern come calling, we lock the door. Problem is, the lock's made of paper. Dortmund builds from within. Sancho sold 2021, Haaland 2022, Bellingham 2023, developing young talent and selling them on. Bayern chase trophies every season with a win-now mentality that crushes dreams. The 2022-23 season perfectly captured this heartbreak. Dortmund had the title in their hands on the final day, but a 2-2 draw against Mainz needed just one win, handed Bayern their 11th straight Bundesliga on goal difference. That's the pain. That's why it burns. That's why this rivalry matters. It's two completely different visions of what football should be. Arsenal versus Tottenham. This rivalry started with a move that Tottenham fans still haven't forgiven, and probably never will. 1913, Arsenal moved from Woolwich in South London to Highbury, just 4 miles from Tottenham's ground. Spurs felt invaded. Arsenal didn't care. 1919, Arsenal controversially promoted to the First Division via league expansion while Tottenham got relegated. Spurs felt cheated. Arsenal still didn't care. That's the origin story of North London's most bitter feud. For decades, Arsenal held the upper hand. Arsene Wenger's teams were pure football art, culminating in the 2003-04 Invincible season that included a 2-2 draw at White Hart Lane. Imagine almost watching your rivals win the league on your own pitch. Nightmare fuel. Mind the Gap became Arsenal's favorite taunt, a constant reminder of how far behind Spurs were in every league table. But the 2010s brought change. Mauricio Pochettino built something special at Spurs. Kane, Son, Eriksen, Dele Alli. Suddenly, they were 2016-17 Premier League runners-up and 2019 Champions League finalists. The rivalry tightened. Games became unpredictable, but there's still that feeling. Spurs desperately want to prove something. Arsenal just want to remind them why they can't. Recent seasons saw the pendulum swing again. Arsenal back in title races under Arteta. Spurs struggling under pressure. 2022-23 season saw Arsenal do the league double over Spurs for the first time in 8 years, and North London felt balanced again. But this rivalry never stays quiet. Every meeting adds another chapter to a story neither side will ever finish writing. There you have it. Football's most beautiful, toxic, and absolutely essential rivalries. These aren't just games, they're cultural wars played out on grass with billions watching. It's identity, passion, history, and heartbreak, all wrapped up in 90 minutes of pure human emotion. Which rivalry burns brightest for you? Drop your favorite in the comments and tell us which one we missed. Hit subscribe for more football deep dives that go way beyond the beautiful game. Because at the end of the day, football without rivalries is just 22 people kicking a ball around. And where's the fun in that?